Hi, I'm the Rifter. You may remember me from, well, all of my other videos if you are a subscriber, if you actually listen to what I say. I recently watched a video, and I've seen it before, but it really resonated with me the other day. And it was Jim Carrey talking about how to manifest your future, or manifest success. I guess that's what it was. So this is a different kind of video, even though I'm gonna call it my nightmare. Hi, I'm the Rifter. This is my nightmare. There, I said it. I forgot the most important part of the tagline in the video. So I've come up with some questions that, I don't know, maybe some of you need to hear this, maybe some of you don't. You'll just fast forward or close the window. That's fine. So what is this video? This video, I don't know if it's exactly designed to give advice, but it's kind of a collection of thoughts that I wish I would have thought of or had around when I was younger. It's not a guide. It's not, you don't have to it's not designed to tell you to do something. It's just designed to make you think about choices and your future. I guess that's all I have for that one. Why am I giving you advice? Again, some of you may need to hear this. You know, if any. Okay, so I've been in sales for, well, forever, and everybody hates salesmen. Well, I mean, not everyone, but majority of people don't like salesmen because they always think they're trying to screw them over. Me as a salesman, I'm very low pressure. There's certain things people need and certain things people want. And if somebody comes into a store with money, they obviously want to buy something. I'm not going to try to sell someone, hey, this is the most expensive thing. This is what you need. You need this product. That's just not the way I do things. I'm more along the lines of, if you're purchasing this item, do you have one right now? Are you replacing one? What did you like something about this one? Do you have features here that you want over here? You know, that's more my style. I would rather help people and get them the product that they need, and not necessarily, it may not necessarily be everything they want, but they're definitely going to need it, and it's going to help them. It's going to make their lives better than what it was. So, kind of why I'm giving you advice, and again, it's not really advice, it's just, maybe you need to hear it. And I'm here to help, is what I'm saying. So, what is fear? A lot of people will tell you to ignore fear. No. Fear is good. To a point. If you are 18 years old and you are scared of doing something, as long as it is not something that is going to kill you, and this isn't me telling you to go out and do drugs. I've never done drugs. I've never even tried drugs. I've never even tried a cigarette before. I've seen what can happen when you get wrapped up in things like that and just slowly go up the scale, so I just never wanted to be a part of that. That wasn't fear, that's just good common sense. And I'm not saying drugs don't have their place, but they're not for me. And you need to make that decision early on. What I'm saying is, fear exists for a reason. Fear, if it's great enough, can tell you, don't do this, you could get hurt. Fear ties directly in with fight or flight, and if you've never heard of that, it's your body's instant reaction to an incoming threat. It's, should I fight this threat or should I run? If I had to be honest, I wish I would have fought more threats in my life than run from them. I don't mean with my fists. I mean fighting them as in just tackling difficult situations that I never did. Fear is a good thing. You have to know, and this is the hard part about fear, you have to know when to listen to it and when to ignore it. You know, jumping out of a plane, for instance. I've jumped out of a plane 5 times. I had a couple hard landings that really hurt my legs. You think that falling is going to be the scary part, and it's really not. The scary part and the most fear that you will have is when you're in the plane and you're getting up to the door. I always tell people when they ask, you know, oh, how many times did you jump? I said, I had 5 night jumps. And they're like, you had 5 night jumps? You're supposed to have 1 and then 4 day jumps. And I'm like, yeah, but I had my eyes closed every time when I exited the door because I wasn't brave enough to have my eyes open as I exited the door. I don't know why, but I exited the door, kept an L shape, and honestly, the first time I jumped, I thought I died. And that's not a euphemism. That's just serious. I thought I had died. I thought my chute didn't open and I forgot to hit my reserve and I died. Because you hear the engines of the plane and you just, if you can imagine really loud engines, and then right as you exit the door, you feel the heat off the engine on your face, and then you feel this really hard, and then all you hear is, you just hear the wind. I open my eyes, and I'm like, oh my God, it worked. I'm floating down. So you check your canopy, you make sure there's no blue spots. Any blue spots are bad. That means that there is a big hole and you are falling a little too fast. But you have to understand when to listen to fear. And I mean that for everything. So that question ties in with the next question. Why should I pursue my dreams? Well, regret is a terrible thing. You should never regret things, which everyone's going to. It's just a natural part of life. I regret things. Now, am I happy with my life yet? Am I happy with my life now? Yeah, you bet. I mean, I've got a family, and of course, you don't understand that until you have a family. And I mean one of your own. I don't mean one that you grew up with, which, I mean, I'm happy with that one too, to an extent. The one that left kind of sucks, but, you know, the rest of them are fine. You should pursue your dreams if it's something you really want to do. And when I say that, I don't mean, hey, someone else gives you an idea and they push you to do it. That's not what I mean. If it interests you and you're into it, pursue it. If it's something different than what you thought it was, get out. Don't do it, you know? But it's all about you. Your life should not be about satisfying the needs of other people, unless, of course, you're a parent, and that just kind of goes hand in hand with what you do. You keep your children happy, you raise them properly. That's just life. So pursue your own dreams. If, you know, I wanted to be a photojournalist out of college, and I didn't have particularly amazing grades out of high school. If I could have taken a summer English course, I would have graduated a year early. And my college scores, my original college scores, which, thanks Mom, I know you paid for a semester of college for me that didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. My professors were kind of jerks. Like, I would come to them after class and I asked, like, I didn't understand this. But they're like, well, why didn't you ask the question in class? Well, that was me being scared of asking a question because I didn't want to look stupid. No one else asked the question because apparently they understood it. Well, my strong point wasn't math. And I would go up to my teacher after class like, look, I didn't quite understand this. Can you just kind of give me a quick... And she just cut me off. She's like, why didn't you ask in class? And I'm like, well, because everyone else understood and I didn't want to waste everyone's time. I don't understand. And it was algebra. And I can do algebra. I just can't do it the way they want me to do it. I can still get the proper answer, but I take some weird long way around and I don't know. Sometimes I don't understand. Every now and then I don't get the right answer, but still, whatever. You should never be scared of not knowing something. A lot of it is going to be personal time that you just research things. But you should definitely follow your dreams. Me wanting to be a photojournalist, well, I went to Jonesboro. Oh God, I can't even remember. It's Arkansas State University in Jonesboro, I think. It's the big college in Jonesboro. I was talking to the professor over it wasn't photojournalism. Anyway, it was photography. Whatever department that was there. And it's been so long ago, I can't remember. But I was talking to him over email, and he said, yeah, you need to come over. And because I sent him some photos, and he was like, yeah, you've got a good eye for this. You should come take a tour of the campus and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. So I go, and he's like, yeah, you definitely need to enroll in the program. Well, I never did, which I'm kind of glad I didn't because the news sucks now. It's not exactly what I thought it was going to be. But I really wish I would have pursued that. Also, I've been a musician for 20 years, 23. My first guitar arrived to me October 15th, 1997. I know that. So however long that is, that's however long I've been playing. I'm not particularly great now. Probably 10 years ago, I was at my peak. I was in the studio a few times. It was okay. But the point is, that was one of my dreams. I wanted to be in a band and get famous. Never did, because frankly, I was too scared to play on stage. Now, public speaking doesn't really bother me now. I mean, I've been a supervisor, talking to people in meetings, and everybody was looking at me. It's not that bad. I was terrified of it, and I should have continued with it. Now, am I glad I didn't? Yeah, I'm glad I didn't, because I wouldn't be where I'm at now. So what if you fail at your dreams? Failing's okay. Failing tells you that you did something wrong or it wasn't the right time. That's basically how I equate it. Failure tells you that you're going in the wrong direction or the timing is wrong. So if you fail, like I always have a saying, I'm good at everything I do, which it's true, I am. I'm not good at everything I try. And if I can't improve on something, I don't do it anymore because it's kind of a waste of my time. So if anyone asks you, to do something that you're not good at, if you want to do it, go ahead and do it. If you want to improve on it, practice at it. You don't think I just picked up a guitar one day and I was just amazing. No, I sucked. I couldn't play I'm self-taught by ear, and I couldn't play my first song all the way through until I got out of high school. It took me 2 years. So, I mean, it's going to be a struggle. In fact, I probably could have put my time to something a lot more productive rather than playing guitar, but I'm glad I did it. It was fun. But again, 2 years to play my first song all the way through. Not ashamed of it. It's just I didn't have anyone teaching me that my fingers aren't very long, so I can't hold the neck like Jimi Hendrix. He had long spider fingers. I have to have my wrist out like this and actually use my fingers. I can't just do this, I'll hit all the other strings, but no one was there to teach me that. And this was kind of right when the internet was getting big, and I didn't have great access to it, so I would actually print out tablature at school and bring it home when I was in like keyboarding for those websites that existed, and it was hard to find songs. Anyway, that's, what if you fail? You're gonna fail. You just have to accept it. And it's gonna be embarrassing. It really is. You're gonna be ashamed of it. You're gonna get depressed, and sometimes you have to be depressed. Just don't do anything stupid while you're depressed. The best thing to do when you're depressed is to get out and walk. Go to the park, go to a trail, walk, think, listen to music, do something. Do anything to get your mind off of it. Break up, whatever. You don't need to go out and meet new people. You need to get out in fresh air and walk. That's how I dealt with it. I don't know if it'll work for everybody, but try it. It can really clear your head. And you think, oh, I just don't want to get out of bed. Man, take some vitamins, do something, get out of bed. You have to. You don't want to. I spent so much time in my teenage years being depressed. I wish I wouldn't have. And it wasn't for lack of trying for my mom. She's always pushing me to do things. Hey, you need to go out and do this, do this, do this. I should have listened to her sooner, but hey, that's being a teenager. You just think you know everything, and you don't. I don't know everything now. I mean, I'm intelligent, but I don't know everything. So I'm trying to weave in a personal story here, and it ties kind of everything in. Fear and everything. So when I was overseas, and this is when I flew overseas, and we were landing, okay? So what they don't tell you when you go overseas is that when you're in the middle of an active war zone, I guess that would probably be easier to explain it for you guys. When you land, you don't just come down and land. No, you are to the side for about 10 minutes. And that's so you circle the runway so you're harder to hit. You're not just going in a straight line and people can't shoot you down easily. No one tells you that. And I'm sitting next to an E-8 Air Force, an enlisted E-8 for the Air Force, who's like about to throw up. And I'm just like, are you okay? And he's just like, I don't like flying. I'm like, you're in the Air Force. I know, I don't like flying. I'm like, okay, whatever. So after we land, probably one of the scariest moments of my life. And again, it's just something I had to do because I put my name on the line and signed a contract. So that's what I did. We get off the plane, and I'll never forget when we had our brief welcoming us onto the airfield. They said, okay, one of the biggest pieces of advice is this is how you don't get your ass wet. And I'm thinking to myself, my ass wet? What kind of briefing is this? I thought this was going to be about bullets or like taking cover or something, or where all the safe zones were. No. And I didn't think about it until way after I had actually been out of the military, but it made sense. It was a terrible place to be, and any piece of information they could give you for comfort was definitely welcome. But they said, if you don't want a wet ass and you want your life to be a little bit easier while you're here, I mean, you'll eat things, you'll have, gastrointestinal trouble. You may spend some time in the bathroom. These bowls in the toilet they were big in the bottom, and they held a lot of water. They said, if you don't want a wet ass, take a little toilet paper, not a lot, throw it in the bottom before you go. It will keep the water from splashing you. Best piece of advice they could have given you early on, because the first time I went, I didn't follow that advice because I was like, whatever, that's stupid. Yeah, the small things in life, the creature comforts when you are in a stressful place like that, amazing piece of advice. So if that's something you need to hear today about being overseas, yeah, do that first. You won't get a wet ass. Anyway, past that, halfway through this safety brief, we hear this siren. And I think this is the only bit of PTSD I brought back with me. And it's a very specific air raid siren. All I know is that my heart starts racing when I hear it. And I never noticed it before, but I'll still hear it every now and then, like in a movie. And I can feel like my muscles getting tight and my heart thumping. But it's a very specific air raid siren, and I think it was from that moment. Halfway through this brief, we hear this air raid siren, and I'm like, what the heck is that? And then all of a sudden, you hear this red alert, there's a hole in the wire. All units, scan your compounds for enemy combatants. And I'm like, oh God, my first day, well, it was nighttime, but my first night over here, and I'm gonna die. This is it. Well, that wasn't the worst part. The guy in charge, and it wasn't like in a briefing room, okay? We're just kind of standing there. And he goes, okay, you heard the announcement, we need a QRF. I'm like, oh cool, what's a QRF? That sounds official. And like me, I knew quite a bit about the Army, but I didn't know all the acronyms. And he's just like, all right, we need to form a QRF. You, and you. And I'm like, oh, cool. Okay, what's a QRF? And he's like, all right, quick reaction force. I'm like, okay. And I've got my M4 on me. And he goes, what you're going to do is you're going to walk around the compound, be careful. You're going to open doors. You're going to look under vehicles. You're going to look in every place you think somebody could hide. And if they're there, if they're armed, you're going to shoot them. They're just like, being honest, they're just like, if somebody's there who's not supposed to be there, and it's resistance. And me, back then, I was a real nervous talker. And I didn't realize it, but I sounded really funny. He's just like, after they explained that to me, I'm like, okay, I didn't get any bullets. Like they shipped me over here with any bullets, and I don't have any magazines in my weapon. And can I get a couple magazines? Can I get some bullets? Because I can't shoot anybody without any bullets. I was babbling, and they're just like, it's private. Hey, we'll get you some bullets. Calm down. And that's the main thing here. Fear, it does stupid things to you. You need to have a way to calm yourself down. I did that, and luckily the only thing I found was inside of a van. There was like some open MRE bags and a couple condom wrappers, so that somebody took a date in the van, I guess. I don't know. But it was probably one of the scariest times of my life, other than jumping out of a plane. And then the biggest scary moment of my life was, of course, the birth of my son. I was terrified. When I saw him come out, he had the cord around his neck and he wasn't making any noise, and they pulled the cord off his neck and he just started screaming. Guys, be ready for that one. It's a mess. Some of you will take it fine. Not me. But anyway, that's kind of my personal stories for fear and why you should follow your dreams. I just wish I would have done some things differently. So if I could go back and do everything over, would I do anything differently? Sure. I would do some things differently. The big difference between me and probably everyone else, I would do small things differently. You know, I would still join the Army, despite how terrible my time was. I would still work at Lowe's. That is where I met my wife, so I would definitely still work at Lowe's. If I knew how things were going to play out, I would still work at Lowe's. Very few things major would I do differently. The biggest thing, and maybe some of you definitely need to hear it, because if you're a teenager watching this, or if you're younger watching this, this is the big thing to take away from life. You're going to get depressed. You're going to have a bad relationship breakup. It's just, that's how it is. And that's the thing that held me back a lot. You know, I put my life on hold for so many people and just did what they wanted to do, because that's the kind of person I was. I wish I wouldn't have stayed depressed for so long because of those people. I mean, like a year after a breakup, a long-term relationship. And a long-term relationship for me back then was like 8-9 months, almost a year, or 2 years. So I wish I would have taken my own advice and gotten over it sooner. Gone out and gone for a walk. You know what? After looking back every single time, that's how I got over it. Anyway, this video is really, really long. I don't know. I watched that video and I just thought to myself, wow. If you haven't seen that one, How to Manifest Success, I think it's called. No, it's called Manifest What You Want. Jim Carrey, How to Manifest What You Want. Or The Real You, that's another one. You don't realize how hard him and his family had it, you know, early on in life, but it kind of resonated with me. You know, I'm successful in some things, and 515 people watch me, maybe not on a daily basis, but some of them catch up on my videos. Anyway, I'm not sure who needed to hear this video today, but I hope you watched the whole thing, and I hope you took something away from it. I really do. Again, fear is poison. It's dangerous. But it can also be your friend if you know how to use it right. Again, I'm the Rifter. Thank you for watching. 515 people are subscribed. Hopefully we'll get some more. Bye.
Bye. See you later.